Hello, today I'm going to be testing the difference between this trail camera and this trail camera. This one I've had for a little while now. I'll show you a better close-up in a moment. It's the Victure trail cam. It's the HC100. This is still, at the time of recording this video, readily available on Amazon, although it is not actually listed on their website at the moment. So it's an older model, but all their cameras seem to be a variation on a theme anyway. This is an Apeman, a completely different make. This is the H40. But to me, they look very similar. So I'm going to now show you some close-ups so we can actually compare the two and see if they are actually different cameras or in fact exactly the same camera just with different names on them. Okay, from the front you can see they both have the infrared lights at the top, followed by the name of the brand, followed by the camera lens in the middle. Over here we have a light sensor, which is the same on both sides. This is a little flashing LED which tells you when the countdown is on, and this is the motion sensor. So from the front they're both pretty much the same. Underneath is an input for power. I haven't actually ever used that. On the back, we turn them over. Again, you can see they're pretty much identical. The labels here, the names, they've got the mounting for a tripod, this bit so you can tie it up against a tree or something so it doesn't move. Where it's actually manufactured is exactly the same on both of them. I can't read Chinese, but I have noted it's got the same symbols in the same order, so I'm guessing it says the same thing. So they're pretty much identical. When you open them up, you'll see the only real difference is this sticker. The Apeman doesn't have that sticker. Other than that, the battery compartments are exactly the same, the controls are exactly the same, and the software is also exactly the same. I can't find any difference. So I'm going to put batteries in now. I'm now going to turn them both on. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to turn this one on. This is my camera I've had a while. And this is my new camera. They both have exactly the same software. Which one of the advantages of this is that you can actually set the clock down to the second, which means I can synchronize them both perfectly, which is what I'm going to do in a bit. But basically they both have the same software. If we go to the software here, it is the same software the whole way down. Nothing is different. The accessories that come with the camera are also exactly the same. It has exactly the same green strap. It has exactly the same mounting here that you can screw that to something, and that's got the tripod standard fitting. So that's all there, and it's got exactly the same screws of exactly the same raw plugs. It's exactly the same. Both cameras take a 32 gig micro SD card, which I didn't realise at first. Now, I was putting in this 64 gig card, which if you do that, the camera reformats it. That's this one, my one I've had a while, the Victure. The camera reformats it to 27 gigabytes. And unless you know how to get it back up to 64 gigs, you're a little bit screwed if you do that by mistake. So I've got my 64 gig memory card in my computer now, as you can see, and it's coming up at 59.4 gigs because they never come up at the true value. But that's a pretty decent sized card. So I'm now going to take this card out of my computer, put it into my camera, and it will say there's an error and it needs formatting. Let's see what happens. Right, so first of all we're going to do the Victure camera, which I know this will do this on. So I'm going to place the 64 gig card in. Remember, it doesn't say it can take 64, but not everyone reads all the specifications. So let's see what happens. Switch it on. It should say there's an error. There we go. And the only way to fix this error is to format the card. So I'll say OK. Okay, right, so let's format the card. Probably been easier if I went the other way. Okay. And there we go, it now will work perfectly fine. But let's see what's happened to the card. So now you can see the card in here again. It's reading 27.4 gigabytes. If I was to try and reformat that with Windows, as I will show you here, format. It can't reformat it back up to the original size. So if I was to now use a card formatter program, and when you do this, make sure you select the correct card here, because while filming this video I accidentally wiped another card. So yeah, be careful about that. Anyway, let's format this. This is definitely the right card now. And as you can see, it's just changed back up to 59.4 gigs. Okay, so here is my Apeman camera. Let's open it up. Let's take out the 32 gig card. Place in the 64 gig card. Again, another possible costly mistake if you don't know what you're doing. Let's switch it on. I've never done this before on this camera, but I'm guessing it's going to be exactly the same. Card error. So I need to format it. Yes. Okay, ready to go. All right, let's switch this off and stick it into my computer and see what it's done to it. So as you can see, the camera has reduced its size back down to 27.4, which is actually lower than what you'd get if you put a proper 32 gig card in. So putting a higher memory card in will actually result in less space. And again, you've already seen that formatting it on Windows won't help. So we need to get the card back. Let's give it its proper name. Format it, making sure you're selecting the right card, obviously. It won't do your, this program that I'm using won't actually do your solid hard drives, anything, it will only do the card, so you don't have to worry too much, but again, don't mess up like I did. Let's format it, and it should jump back up. There we go, it's back up to what it should be. And we can close this. So, placing the correct cards inside, the 32 gig card. I'm going to place that in there. I'm going to place that in there. Both of these cameras are running on rechargeable batteries because they do get through the power quite quickly, and it will end up being expensive to constantly buy new batteries. I tried my Victure camera with rechargeables and it works absolutely fine. So I'm going to turn them both on. I'm going to set the clocks to make them absolutely identical. So as you can see, so it's slightly out of frame, it's hard to do this through the camera. I'm going to get them both synchronized exactly. The setting will switch off if you don't keep it going, which is a little bit annoying, but right, both, and okay. They're both perfectly synchronized down to the second, which is going to be important for the next test. For this next test, I'm going to see how quickly they react to movement. Now, I've had this one for a while, and one of the biggest problems I've had with it is that from the time it takes to detect something and time it takes to start recording video is quite a long time. Now, I get like mice or birds around here sometimes, or pheasants, and they come in and they go out again quite quickly sometimes, and I don't always get it. I can basically capture nothing, essentially. So what I'm going to do is set them both up on this table here, and I'm going to walk off over there, and I'm going to see basically how long it takes for them to pick me up when I come back into the motion range, if that makes sense. Right, both cameras are now set up exactly the same way. Both of them have got their motion sensors set to high. They're both set to record picture and video, 5-second interval, and record for 1 minute. Right, I think that should be long enough. They both should have reset by now. So I'm going to slowly walk over to the cameras and see how long it takes for them to notice that I'm here and for them to take a picture and then start recording. So I'm walking up now. I'm talking the whole time so you can compare the two clips. Here are the cameras. Walking past them now, behind them. Right, and let's see how well they did. behind them. Right, and let's see how well they did. Behind them. Right, and let's see how well they did. After this testing, I found there is indeed a difference. This is the Victure that I've been using up until now, and this is my new Apeman, which was a gift. And this one took the picture a whole second earlier. If you noticed on the timestamp, this is why I wanted the clocks perfectly synchronized. Apeman takes the picture 1 second earlier than this one. So that's good for fast moving animals. However, if you look at the video, both of them start recording videos at exactly the same moment. It's on the same second. So that if you want videos, there's no real advantage between one or the other. But if it's just the still images you want, then this one, the Apeman, a whole second earlier, which can make a big difference, because as I said, out here I get mice feeding and they're quick when they're out in the open. If I put food out to capture them on the camera, they move fast. There's a lot of raptors around here. There's tawny owls that live in the trees just behind where I live. There is a kestrel that feeds in the field behind me, and I've seen other raptors down the road. So yeah, the mice don't like being out in the open, but it's free food. So when they come out, they grab the food and they go. They're fast. This Apeman may have an advantage on catching the pictures. So what I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to put some food out. I placed my Victure down here. That's literally just resting against the fence post. And then I've put my Apeman here. This will be its first time being tested at night. There's just a scattering of birdseed and other stuff along the floor. I've just spent ages editing the video from last night from both this camera and this camera. It was raining really heavily last night. My Victure camera actually fared really well in the rain. This one, however, my Apeman, for some reason the drips took ages to come off the lens. I don't know why, so a lot of the time the picture was obscured by the drips. It is absolutely fine. I've dried it all off now and it works perfectly alright. They don't always record at the same time. You can see when one's recording because you can see in the corner or the side of the screen, depending on which camera you're looking at, you can see the infrared light flashing on, so you can see when the two cameras are recording. I'm going to display them linear in time order, so it'll switch from one camera to the other. And yeah, I don't expect anyone to watch this all the way to the end, so I'm going to say goodbye now. Thanks for watching. If you like this, subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.